Chosen one, stop. Stop scrolling. Stop moving. Stop pretending this is just another video you will half watch while doing something else. Because the moment your eyes landed here, the moment your finger paused, the moment something in your chest tightened slightly, heaven marked this as the exact second your life splits into before and after. You didn't find this. You were found. You weren't searching. You were summoned. And what I am about to tell you is not information you can file away for later. This is a divine interruption that will either wake you up completely or haunt you quietly until you come back and finally listen. Take a breath. A real one. Because your spirit already knows something massive is happening. You have felt it, haven't you? That strange heaviness, that unexplainable restlessness, that feeling like you are standing at the edge of something you cannot see but you can sense. You have been trying to name it. You have been trying to explain it to people who look at you like you are overthinking. But you are not overthinking. You are not being dramatic. You are not losing your mind. You are in the middle of a divine shift, and heaven will not let you walk another day without understanding what is happening to you. This message is not for everyone. It is not for people who are comfortable. It is not for people who are casually curious. This message is for the ones who have been feeling like they are being pulled out of their old life, but haven't stepped into the new one yet. The ones who feel like they are between worlds. The ones who are exhausted from pretending everything is fine when their soul is screaming that something fundamental has changed. If that is you, stay here. Your clarity starts now. Let me ask you something, and I want you to answer honestly in your spirit. Have you noticed that your tolerance for certain things has completely disappeared? Things you used to ignore now irritate you instantly. Conversations that used to be fine now feel unbearable. Environments that used to be comfortable now feel suffocating. People you used to enjoy now drain you within minutes. Have you noticed that? You thought maybe you were becoming negative. You thought maybe you were developing an attitude problem. You questioned whether you were being too judgmental, too critical, too sensitive. But chosen one, listen carefully. What if none of that is true? What if the reason you cannot tolerate what you used to tolerate is because your spirit has already shifted into a higher frequency, and everything that doesn't match that frequency now feels like static noise interference? God has been adjusting something inside you, not your personality, not your kindness, not your love. He has been adjusting your spiritual capacity. He has been expanding your discernment. He has been recalibrating what you are willing to accept, what you are willing to entertain, what you are willing to call normal. And the reason everything feels different is because you are different. Your spirit graduated to a level where mediocrity feels like betrayal, where fakeness feels like poison, where shallow feels like suffocation. This isn't you being difficult. This is you being realigned. Have you also noticed how tired you have been? Not the kind of tired that sleep fixes. The kind of tired that sits in your bones. The kind of tired that makes you want to be alone, even when you are not necessarily sad. The kind of tired that comes from carrying something heavy you cannot see. Chosen one, that exhaustion is not random. You are not weak. You are not broken. You are not falling apart. What you are experiencing is called spiritual weight. It happens when God is shifting you from one assignment to another. It happens when heaven is downloading something into your spirit that your body hasn't caught up to yet. It happens when you are being stretched beyond your current capacity to prepare you for what is coming next. Think about it like this. Before a building can go higher, the foundation has to be reinforced. Before a tree can grow taller, the roots have to go deeper. Before a butterfly can fly, it has to endure the struggle of breaking out of the cocoon. That struggle isn't punishment, it is preparation. The pressure you feel isn't God being harsh, it is God being intentional. He is strengthening you in places you didn't know were weak. He is deepening you in places you didn't know were shallow. He is preparing you for a level of responsibility, influence, and purpose that requires you to be stronger than you currently are. But here is what makes this shift so disorienting. It is invisible to everyone else. Nobody sees it. Nobody understands it. You cannot explain it in a way that makes sense to people who aren't going through it. So you sit in rooms full of people and feel completely alone. You go to places you used to love and feel completely detached. You talk to people you used to connect with and feel like you are speaking a different language. And the worst part, you start questioning yourself. You start wondering if maybe you are the problem. Maybe you are being too distant. Maybe you are being too cold. Maybe you are changing in a bad way. Let me stop you right there. You are not the problem. You are not being cold. You are not changing in a bad way. You are being separated. God is pulling you out of spaces that were never meant to contain the fullness of who you are becoming. He is pulling you away from people who were only meant to walk with you for a season, not a lifetime. He is pulling you out of environments that celebrated your potential, but would sabotage your purpose. And yes, it feels lonely. Yes, it feels confusing. Yes, it feels like you are losing people. But chosen one, you are not losing anything. You are being repositioned. Let's talk about the relationships that have shifted. You have noticed it, haven't you? People who used to reach out don't anymore. Friendships that used to feel natural now feel forced. Conversations that used to flow now feel awkward. Connections that used to energize you now exhaust you, and you have been blaming yourself. You have been wondering what you did wrong. You have been trying to fix it, trying to go back to how things were. But what if I told you that those relationships didn't fall apart? What if I told you that God quietly dismantled them because they were built on a version of you that no longer exists? People connected to who you were. They connected to your old mindset. They connected to your old tolerance for dysfunction. They connected to your old willingness to shrink yourself to make them comfortable. But when God shifts you, He doesn't just shift your spirit. He shifts your standards. He shifts your boundaries. He shifts what you are willing to participate in. And the people who were comfortable with the old version of you will not be comfortable with the new version of you. That is not your fault. That is not their fault. That is just what happens when alignment changes. God is not punishing you by removing people. He is protecting you, because the next level of your life requires a different quality of connection. It requires people who can handle your growth without feeling threatened. People who can celebrate your clarity without feeling judged. People who can walk with you in purpose without trying to pull you back into comfort. And until those people show up, God would rather you walk alone than walk with the wrong company. Loneliness is temporary. Wrong alignment is costly. Now, let me address something that has been weighing on your heart. The guilt. You have been feeling guilty, haven't you? Guilty for outgrowing people. Guilty for no longer enjoying what you used to enjoy. Guilty for wanting more depth, more meaning, more substance. Guilty for not being who people expect you to be anymore. That guilt sits heavy on your chest. It makes you question whether you are being selfish. It makes you wonder whether you should just go back to how things were, just to keep the peace, just to make people happy, just to stop feeling like the difficult one, chosen one. I need you to hear this. That guilt is not from God. Guilt that tries to keep you small is not conviction. It is condemnation. It is a trap. It is the enemy trying to convince you that growth is betrayal, that elevation is arrogance, that clarity is coldness. But the truth is this: you are not responsible for staying the same to keep other people comfortable. You are not responsible for shrinking to make others feel secure. You are not responsible for dimming your light so others don't have to confront their own darkness. Your job is to follow God. Their job is to follow God. And if those paths no longer align, that is between them and heaven, not you and guilt. God is removing the weight of false responsibility from your shoulders. He is removing the pressure to perform for people who never truly saw you. He is removing the exhaustion of trying to be everything to everyone while losing yourself in the process. And yes, it hurts. Yes, it feels like loss. But chosen one, what looks like loss is actually liberation. What feels like ending is actually beginning. What seems like isolation is actually elevation. Let's go deeper. I want to talk about the dreams. Have you been having strange dreams lately? Vivid dreams, symbolic dreams, dreams that wake you up at 3 a.m. with your heart pounding, dreams that you cannot shake even hours after waking, dreams that feel more real than reality. This is not random. This is not your subconscious playing tricks on you. This is God communicating with you in the language your spirit understands best. When the noise of the day is gone, when your defenses are down, when your logical mind is asleep, God speaks. And He has been speaking to you, hasn't He? Some of those dreams have been about the past. Old situations resurfacing, old people reappearing, old places showing up. You wake up confused, wondering why you are dreaming about things you thought you were over. But here is what is really happening. God is taking you back through those old spaces, not to re-traumatize you, but to show you how far you have come. He is showing you that what used to break you no longer has power over you. He is showing you that what used to define you no longer controls you. He is showing you that you have healed in places you didn't even realize were wounded. Those dreams are not setbacks. They are proof of progress. Other dreams have been about the future, places you have never been, people you have never met, situations you cannot explain. You wake up feeling like you just saw a preview of something that hasn't happened yet, and God has been giving you glimpses of what He is preparing, not to make you anxious, not to make you impatient, but to anchor hope in your spirit during this in-between season. Because right now, you are in the transition. You are in the gap. You are in the space between what was and what will be. And that space is uncomfortable. It is uncertain. It is unnerving. But those dreams are God's way of saying, I am already working on what you cannot see yet. Trust me in the waiting. And then there are the dreams that are warnings, dark dreams, unsettling dreams, dreams about danger, betrayal, or loss. You wake up shaken, praying immediately, rebuking what you saw. Don't dismiss those dreams. God is showing you what the enemy is planning, so you can pray against it before it manifests. He is showing you who to watch, what to avoid, where not to go. Your discernment is being sharpened even while you sleep. You are being equipped for spiritual warfare at a level you have never operated in before. Chosen one. Let's talk about the silence. The silence of God. You have felt it, haven't you? There was a time when you felt God so clearly, when you heard His voice so easily, when His presence was so tangible. But lately, it feels like heaven has gone quiet. You pray, and it feels like your words hit the ceiling. You worship, and it feels mechanical. You read scripture, and it feels like just words on a page, and it is terrifying. Because if God feels distant, if God feels silent, then what does that mean? Did you do something wrong? Did you mess up? Did you miss something? Is God disappointed in you? No, no, no. Chosen one, God has not left you. God has not abandoned you. God is not disappointed in you. What you are experiencing is called the silence of transition. It happens when God is shifting you from one level of intimacy with Him to another. It happens when He is moving you from being dependent on feelings to being rooted in faith. It happens when He is teaching you to trust Him when you cannot sense Him, to obey Him when you cannot hear Him, to follow Him when you cannot see Him. This silence is not rejection. This silence is maturity training. Think about it. When a baby is learning to walk, the parent doesn't hold their hand forever. At some point, the parent steps back and lets the child try on their own. Not because the parent stopped caring, but because the child needs to develop strength. That is what God is doing with you. He is stepping back slightly, not to abandon you, but to strengthen you. He is training you to walk by faith, not by sight, to walk by trust, not by feeling, to walk by His word, not by your emotions. And yes, it feels scary. Yes, it feels lonely. But on the other side of this silence is a deeper, stronger, unshakable faith that nothing can move. God is also quiet because He is working. When a sculptor is shaping clay, they don't talk to the clay. They focus, they work, they mold, they create. That is what God is doing in your life right now. He is not talking because He is working. He is shaping things you cannot see. He is moving pieces you are not aware of. He is setting up connections, closing wrong doors, opening right doors, removing obstacles, positioning people, arranging circumstances. And when the work is done, when the setup is complete, when everything is aligned, His voice will return. And when it does, it will not just be a word, it will be a command, it will be a release, it will be a go. Now I want to shift and talk about what is coming, because everything you have been going through, everything you have been feeling, everything you have been enduring, it is all been preparation. Preparation for what is next. And what is next is bigger than what you have been praying for. It is deeper than what you have been imagining. It is heavier than what you have been hoping for. That is why the preparation has been so intense. That is why the shift has been so uncomfortable. That is why the process has been so thorough. God doesn't prepare you lightly for small things. The weight of the preparation always matches the weight of the assignment. You are about to step into a season where your yes will carry more weight, where your words will carry more authority, where your presence will carry more influence, where your prayers will carry more power. But with that weight comes responsibility. You cannot carry what is coming with the same mindset you had before. You cannot steward what is coming with the same habits you had before. You cannot walk into what is coming with the same circle you had before. That is why God has been stripping things away. That is why God has been recalibrating your heart. That is why God has been isolating you. He is preparing you to carry something that requires a different version of you. Some of you are about to step into leadership you didn't ask for, influence you didn't seek, platforms you didn't build, and people will look to you for guidance, for wisdom, for direction. But you will not be ready for that if you are still carrying insecurity. If you are still seeking validation from people, if you are still afraid of rejection. if you are still controlled by opinions. That is why God has been dealing with those things now. He is removing every shaky foundation before he builds something permanent on you. Others of you are about to step into relationships that require a healed version of you. Partnerships that require clarity, marriages that require wholeness, friendships that require boundaries, and you cannot bring brokenness into what God is preparing. You cannot bring unresolved pain into what requires peace. You cannot bring people-pleasing into what requires conviction. That is why God has been healing you in isolation. That is why He has been teaching you who you are outside of relationships. That is why He has been showing you that you are complete in Him before anyone else enters your life. And some of you are about to step into assignments that will require courage you don't feel yet, faith you haven't seen yet, strength you haven't tapped into yet. You are going to be asked to do things that terrify you, say things that make you uncomfortable, go places that feel risky, and you will not be able to do that if you are still living for safety. If you are still addicted to comfort, if you are still controlled by fear. That is why God has been putting you in situations that stretch you. That is why He has been allowing pressure. That is why He has been pushing you past your limits. He is expanding your capacity, so when the moment comes, you will not hesitate. Chosen one, I need you to understand something that will change how you see this entire season. Everything you have lost was in the way. Every door that closed was blocking your path. Every person who left was occupying space that wasn't theirs to fill. Every opportunity that fell through was a distraction from your real assignment. God didn't take things from you to hurt you. God removed things from you to help you. And one day, when you are walking in the fullness of what He has prepared, you are going to look back and thank Him for every no, every closed door, every ended relationship, every failed plan, because you will finally see that what looked like loss was actually divine protection. Right now, you are frustrated because you cannot see the full picture. You are standing too close to the canvas. All you see is the mess, the chaos, the confusion, the paint strokes that don't make sense. But God is standing back, looking at the masterpiece. And every stroke, every color, every shadow, every line, it all has purpose. Nothing is wasted. Nothing is random. Nothing is meaningless. Your pain has purpose. Your waiting has purpose. Your isolation has purpose. Your struggle has purpose. And when the masterpiece is revealed, you will not just see a life. You will see a testimony. You will see a weapon. You will see proof that God finishes what He starts. Let me tell you what is about to happen. The fog is about to lift. The confusion is about to clear. The heaviness is about to lighten. The silence is about to break. And when it does, you are going to move faster than you have ever moved before. Doors are going to open that you didn't knock on. Opportunities are going to find you that you didn't chase. People are going to seek you out that you didn't pursue. Favor is going to follow you that you didn't earn. Because when God's timing collides with your obedience, momentum becomes supernatural. But here is the part that requires your attention. When that shift happens, when things start moving, when clarity returns, when breakthrough comes, you cannot go back and pick up what God told you to leave behind. You cannot grab the old relationships. You cannot return to the old environments. You cannot resurrect the old version of yourself, because what is coming will not tolerate what you came from. The new level has new requirements, new standards, new expectations, and if you try to drag old baggage into new spaces, you will lose the new space. Now, let's address something that nobody talks about: but everyone going through this shift experiences the misunderstanding. People around you don't understand why you have changed. They don't understand why you are not the same person you were 6 months ago, a year ago, 2 years ago. They say things like, "You have changed. You are different now. What happened to you?" And they don't mean it as a compliment. They mean it as an accusation, as if changing is betrayal, as if growing is abandonment, as if evolving is arrogance. And it hurts because these are people you love, people you care about, people whose opinions used to matter deeply. But now their words bounce off you differently because you have realized something profound. Not everyone is meant to understand your transformation. Not everyone is equipped to celebrate your growth. Not everyone has the spiritual maturity to recognize that what looks like you pulling away is actually God pulling you up. You are not being rude. You are not being cold. You are not being judgmental. You are being selective. You are being intentional. You are being protective of your peace, your purpose, your process. And there is nothing wrong with that. Jesus himself didn't explain himself to everyone. He didn't justify his choices to the crowds. He didn't seek approval from the religious leaders. He knew who he was. He knew what he was called to do, and he moved accordingly. That is the same posture God is developing in you. A posture of secure identity, a posture of unshakable conviction, a posture that doesn't need external validation because it is rooted in divine confirmation. And here is something critical you need to understand. The people who are upset about your growth are upset because your growth exposes their stagnation. Your clarity exposes their confusion. Your boundaries expose their dysfunction. Your peace exposes their chaos. You are not the problem. You are the mirror. And mirrors make people uncomfortable when they are not ready to face what they see. So they blame the mirror instead of dealing with the reflection. Don't let their discomfort pull you back into spaces you have outgrown. Don't let their misunderstanding convince you that growing was wrong. Don't let their resistance make you question what God clearly confirmed. Chosen one, you are standing at a threshold. On one side is everything you have known, everything that is familiar, everything that feels safe. On the other side is everything God has promised, everything He has prepared, everything He has called you to, and you cannot have both. You cannot stand in the middle forever. At some point, you have to choose, and that choice will require courage. It will require trust. It will require letting go of what you can see to grab hold of what you cannot see yet. But before you make that choice, I need to tell you about the resistance you are about to face. Because the moment you fully commit, the moment you fully surrender, the moment you fully step forward, resistance will intensify. The enemy knows that once you cross that threshold, once you step fully into your calling, once you align completely with your purpose, he loses access to you. He loses influence over you. He loses the ability to distract you. So he is going to throw everything at you right before you break through. Expect it, prepare for it. Don't be surprised by it. You might experience sudden financial pressure, unexpected bills, sudden expenses, things breaking down that need fixing. This is designed to make you panic, to make you doubt, to make you think God isn't providing. But that is a lie. God is providing. This is just a test of your trust. Will you trust Him when things get tight? Will you trust Him when provision looks delayed? Will you trust Him when it seems like everything is falling apart financially? Because on the other side of that test is overflow. On the other side of that pressure is provision you didn't work for. On the other side of that struggle is supernatural supply. You might also experience relational attacks. old conflicts resurfacing, old wounds being poked, people from your past suddenly reappearing, trying to pull you back into old drama. This is designed to distract you, to drain you, to divide your focus. But don't take the bait. Don't engage in battles that God already won for you. Don't revisit conversations that God already closed. Don't go backwards trying to fix what God already healed. Keep your eyes forward. Keep your focus sharp. Keep your energy reserved for what God is building, not for defending what God already delivered you from. You might face mental and emotional attacks, sudden anxiety, overwhelming fear, intrusive thoughts, feelings of inadequacy, voices telling you that you are not ready, you are not qualified, you are not good enough. These attacks are designed to make you retreat, to make you shrink back, to make you disqualify yourself before God even releases you. But chosen one, those thoughts are not yours. Those fears are not from God. That voice telling you to quit is not heaven. That is the enemy panicking because he knows your time is coming. And when your time comes, when your season arrives, when your breakthrough manifests, he loses. So he is trying to convince you to disqualify yourself before God promotes you. But here is what I want you to know. The moment you fully surrender, the moment you fully let go, the moment you fully step into what God is calling you to, everything shifts. The confusion stops. The struggle lessens. The pieces fall into place. Not because life becomes easy, but because you finally stop fighting against the current. You finally stop resisting the process. You finally stop trying to control the outcome. And when you release control to God, he releases blessing to you. So let me ask you, are you ready? Are you ready to stop looking back? Are you ready to stop second-guessing what God already confirmed? Are you ready to stop waiting for permission from people who will never understand your calling? Are you ready to walk into what terrifies you because you trust the one who called you? Are you ready to believe that what God started in you, he will finish in you? If your spirit is saying yes, if something in you just shifted, if clarity is starting to break through, then this is your moment. This is your turning point. This is your divine reset. And what happens next will prove that everything you endured was worth it. Chosen one, before you leave this moment, I need you to do something. If this message found you exactly when you needed it, if you felt like God just spoke directly into your situation, if you know this was not random, type Amen in the comments, not out of tradition, not out of obligation, but as a declaration that you heard heaven and you are choosing to respond. And if you don't want to miss what God says next, if you want to stay aligned with his voice during this critical season, subscribe to this channel. Now, this is not about chasing content. This is about staying connected to clarity when everything around you feels chaotic. Finally, if you know someone who has been struggling with change, someone who feels stuck between seasons, someone who needs to hear that what they are going through has purpose, share this message with them. What interrupted you could be exactly what saves them. Remember this, you are not broken, you are not behind, you are not forgotten. You are in the middle of a divine shift, and shifts are uncomfortable, but they are not permanent. What is coming is worth what you are going through. Stay close to God, stay obedient to his voice, stay surrendered to his process. Because when this shift is complete, you will not recognize your own life. And that is exactly the point.